It says we're live. Are we live? It's the 29th of November, 2024. Pat Electric says 5x5. Roger that. Good morning. Welcome to the Bear Show. I'm the Bear Man from the internet. We're going to do the Intel brief today. I've got a written brief for you on Orange Man Bad and his tariffs. I've got an article here from Russia Today. The West is plotting to occupy Ukraine, according to intel from SVR. Intel is an operative word. And then from The Hill, Amazon workers plan to strike from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. I'm sure that's going to be fine. It's all going to be fine. It's nothing to worry about. So we're going to jump into it. You guys know the drill. Subscribe, ring the little bell icon, comment for the YouTube algorithmic robots to chew on, please and thank you. If you want to be subscribed, make sure that you still are subscribed because YouTube unsubscribes people all the time. And if you're living in your mom's basement, eating Cheetos, drinking Mountain Dew, not subscribed to the channel, you should probably go ahead and do that. Okay, this is me calling you out. 40% of the people that watch this content are not subscribed to it. And I find it hard to believe that 40% of y'all are feds. Come on. I mean, maybe. There's twice as many government bureaucracy jobs as there are American manufacturing jobs in this country. 24 million to 12 million. So maybe 40% of you are feds. In which case, grow a pair of balls and subscribe. Okay? All right. Awesome. Show is brought to you by Yahweh your Elohim, the Lord your God, the creator of the universe. If you don't like that, go somewhere else. And brought to you by refugemedical.com, of whom I'm the founder, CEO, chief shilling officer. Oh, also preemptively, if you're afraid of certain sounds that come out of people's faces that some people consider swear words or curse words, you should just leave now. Just go. That's fine. I'm going to not judge you, but I am going to tell you you're not going to fit in around here. You should just go somewhere else. Okay? All right. Perfect. And, of course, to find people over at Patreon, patreon.com, the economic engine of the Bear Nation. We did not do the Pelt Patreon exclusive live stream Thursday last night because it was Turkey Day. But we'll play catch up. What's up, John Brady? Good morning to everybody in the chat. Lamppost, Fluster Cluck, John Brady, Mr. Greblin, the Campfire Chef, JS Genesis, David McPherson, everybody else. I appreciate y'all very much. Shout out to the replay crew and to the podcast crew. Bear Independent Brief, 29 November 2024. As the weeks go by, concerns and even fears revolving around Trump's proposed tariffs continue to mount. As a reminder, he has said that plans to put a 10% tariff on all imports to the United States, a 25% levy on all imports from Canada and Mexico, and the tariffs on Chinese goods could reach 60% or more. Dun, dun, dun. Best Buy CEO, Chief Executive Officer Corey Barry told reporters, quote, "The vast majority of that tariff will probably be passed on to the consumer as a price increase," end quote. Now, a couple of thoughts on this real quick. Commentary. Number one, oh no, price increases. Fix the damn money. Thank you, Alex, for the super chat. Appreciate you. Yes, I have circled the sun yet again. Or the sun has circled me. Are we in a heliocentric universe or what? Is the Earth shaped like a pizza? Who knows? I have no idea, and neither does anybody else. But whatever. I've been here for another 365.24 days. So Corn Pop was a bad dude. I appreciate y'all in the chat. Yeah. It is my day of birth. Here we are. Appreciate y'all. I vote pizza. I know it, says Tato. The earth is delicious. And then the father looked upon the earth and saw that it was pizza and it was good. Is that why? And this was the sixth day and the sixth night, or sixth evening and the sixth day. I don't know. Dome pizza. So it's more of like a Chicago style. Is that what we're talking about? Or like a calzone? I'm into calzones. Let's all agree that it's a calzone. I can get down with this. Anyway, so the vast majority of tariffs will probably be passed on to the consumer as a price increase, according to CEO of Best Buy. Number one, fix the money. Oh no, prices went up. Hey, listen, if we had maintained the same federal minimum wage standard from 1968 to today, what's that, 54 years, 56 years to today, 56 years to today, the minimum wage would be $21.25 an hour. It was a buck 25 in quarters made of silver, made of this. So if we had just maintained the same value of the dollar till today, minimum wage would be the equivalent of over $21 an hour. Minimum wage. So, oh no, tariffs. Fix the money. Yeah, just just throwing that out there. And then also, yes, all businesses have to produce a surplus. That's what we call a profit, right? That's why the business exists on the books. A business's job is to solve as many problems as possible and as a byproduct realize a surplus. But when you're beholden to shareholders, the surplus becomes the primary focus of the existence of the company, which means that you as a company don't have the ability to absorb some hits to the surplus, like increase in input costs due to tariffs. So of course that gets passed on to the consumer because we have to turn a surplus because we have shareholders. And if our stock valuation goes down, then the company could tank and then we could blah, 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 blah. And a lot of that is not stuff that I'm in agreement. That's not a word that I'm agreeable to. That's a little bit closer to a word. Hold on. I need more of this coffee. Shall we? Yes, for old time's sake. I know there's so many of y'all out there like, I can't stand it when you slurp your coffee. I can't stand it when you bitch in the comments. So we're even. Ta-da. There it is. There it is. Pinkies up. That's right, buckets and Bibles. That's right. Recently, IKEA also warned that the tariffs could hike prices for their own consumers, with 70% of its products coming from Europe and 30% from Asia. Asia is, if you find Russia on a map and you go southeast-ish from there and due east-ish from Russia, you'll find Asia. And there's a bunch of approximately 5 foot tall, very violent ninjas that live there. They have a strong boat culture. They like swords. If you keep going too far to the southeast, eventually you'll end up in Moana territory. And that's too far. That's not what I'm talking about. We're not looking for the Isle of Tafiti here. We're talking about like Japan, Malaysia, the Korean Peninsula, China. You might have heard of it. Now, Frozen is the other directric, Pat Conelectric. From Russia, if you go north or northwest, you end up in Frozen territory. Just let it go, bro. Let it go. The cold never bothered me anyway, if we're going to be honest here. So IKEA makes 70% of its shit in Europe and 30% of its shit in Asia, with fears spreading that price impacts may even become more severe than during the 2020 pandemic. Many ordinary people are beginning to prepare. How so? But there is a distinct pervasive uncertainty surrounding what exactly may be impacted after the dust settles, or rather, what won't be impacted. I told my wife when I hit 60 in February, I want lasagna. Mr. Greblin, that is an appropriate request for the birthday. Of course, the tariffs are not even in place yet, but the looming threat of sizable tariffs is already having economic impacts. Companies are already changing their contracts, starting to stockpile, and altering their supply chains in anticipation of economic shockwaves. What does that mean for us? They're starting to stockpile. I don't think you're going to see, you might in certain acute cases, interruptions in service, interruptions in availability. You probably will see price increases on inputs, raw goods, which will increase, commodities, which will increase the cost of refined goods, value-added products, right? I take iron ore and I turn it into cast iron pans, right? The output there, cast iron pan, will go up because the input iron ore will go up. What's up, Jeremiah Noble? Thanks, bro. So yeah, you'll probably see some price increases there. You may see interruptions in availability due to supply chain because a lot of people, given the opportunity from COVID forward, could have nearshored or onshored their manufacturing processes, but didn't. Now, nearshoring is a ridiculous term that makes it sound like people are bringing their manufacturing closer to the United States of America. But what it actually means is that they're moving their manufacturing further from China. And so, like a lot of like Chinese textile plants and garments and stuff like that moved from China during COVID to Vietnam and Malaysia and elsewhere, India. That's not back to the United States. It's just away from China. So that's what nearshoring means. Whenever you see they're nearshoring. They're not coming closer to us. They're moving further from China, which has its own forget economic, but strategic military implications as well, because there's a strong likelihood we go to war with China. Well, you don't want all the stuff you make being made literally in your enemy's backyard. That's stupid. The amount of money that the United States Department of Defense spends on things manufactured in China is staggering. It's hundreds of billions of dollars per year. But what about berry compliance? Yeah, but you can get a berry variance if there is not a similar product manufactured here in the United States of America. And that's very hard to do in many cases because very few people manufacture things here in the United States of America anymore. That's why at least 2 years ago, Refuge, our company, started investing in American manufacturing. We want to be able to make stuff here. I'm wearing an Origin hoodie. It was made here. This is American cotton that was sewn and put together in first Maine and then North Carolina, like here. Now, it's a $100 hoodie. It is. It was a $100 hoodie 2 years ago when I got it, and it still looks like a $100 hoodie. It's really well made, and it's made of nano wool, which is very challenging because the sheep are so small. To be able to shear a sheep that's the size of like a golf ball, it's a lot of work. And all that extra work to feed those sheep, water those sheep, steward those sheep, round them all up, get them into little tiny Lego trucks with livestock trailers on the back of them, and haul them all to the little tiny factory and shear all those little tiny sheep and turn it into wool. I mean, there's got to be 10,000 little sheep that had to be sheared to make this one hoodie. It's very labor intensive, nano wool. So my point is, yes, American things from a manufacturing standpoint, they do cost more. I give you another example. Oh, look, a bear fac. This cost more than probably you could go to Rhino Rescue's website and put everything they make into the cart and it would cost less than this does. But this actually works. This will still be here in a year or two or 37 years from now. Their shit will not. You probably will have gotten cancer from breathing the fumes in the packaging that piece of shit came in when you bought it, and it's not going to work in the first place. You see the difference? And so the challenge then becomes is the revolving hamster wheel of input output from a revenue standpoint in your household when the money has no value and everything costs more because Biden and his crony homies are trying to intentionally destroy the world by starting World War III before Trump gets into office and by crashing the economy and by allowing or causing COVID to happen. You can't see past payday. Right. And when you can't see past payday, it doesn't matter if the $100 hoodie is 10 times better than the $20 hoodie. You don't have $100 for a hoodie. Right. And so then that perpetuates the purchasing of cheap Chinese overseas manufactured bullshit. It's like you could buy one pair of $50 work boots every year for the rest of your life, or you could buy one $500 pair of work boots that will last you the rest of your life. And in the long term, the $500 pair of boots is going to serve you better. You'll never have to replace them. But you have to have $500 in the first place to buy them. And many, many, many Americans are not in a position where they can make the long-term investment to buy the domestically produced product. So they have to buy the overseas manufactured product that's a piece of shit that will have to be replaced over and over and over again. Perpetuates materialism. It's good for quarterly GDP numbers. It's bad for consumers, which is us. So all that to say, fix the money. Okay, fix the money. And also, kudos to the nano sheep. Now I need to know, can I take a nano sheep, one of these little tiny golf ball size sheep, and just like batter it, throw it in a deep fryer or in an air fryer, and pop them like sheep nuggets? I must know. One nugget, exactly. See, Jupiter Mojo, you and me, we're on the same wavelength today. Vice President of American Apparel and Footwear Association, Nate Herman, worried that the tariffs would create 2, 3, 4, 5 times the inflation we've seen over the past 6 years. It's an extremely huge concern. His industry is right to be concerned. 97% of clothes and shoes sold in the Estados Unidos are imported. 97%. And reshoring the industry is nearly an impossible task with both a lack of workers as well as American-sourced materials. But it could be better. Okay, so 3% of the domestic market share is domestically produced clothing. What does that tell me? Okay, now what does that tell me? We have so much room to grow there, right? So as an entrepreneur, you see white space. But how do you compete with the overseas manufactured stuff? That's part of where Trump's tariffs come into play. Because the overseas manufactured hoodie's $20. Well, you put a 100% tariff on it, it's now $40, right? And you get an economy of scale on the American manufacturing side. Maybe we could take the $100 hoodie down to $70. Now we're doing a $40 to $70 comparison instead of a $20 to $100 comparison. And if we lower taxes, eliminate taxes, flat taxes, whatever it is, people have more money in their pockets to buy the $70 hoodie instead of the $20 hoodie. Okay. So in a nutshell, I'm using this Origin hoodie to kind of try and explain Trump's tariff situation here. But 97% of stuff is manufactured overseas. There's a lot of these companies I would love to love, like Duluth Trading Company. Yeah, go look at a tag in Duluth. No, it's designed in Minnesota. I don't care where it was designed, homie. Where did you make it? Oh, Vietnam. Shit. That pisses me off. And it's not like it's inexpensive. I spent $150 on the Duluth winter jacket last year thinking made in America. Awesome. Because on their website, I couldn't find anything about country of origin from a manufacturing standpoint. I get it. I look at the tag. Yeah, designed in Minnesota, manufactured in Vietnam. Come on, dude. That's some cheap bullshit right there. That's theft by deception. I don't appreciate that. There's many other companies that are out there that are producing clothing that call themselves American companies. I'm unimpressed by an American company. It's very easy to have an American company. For $200, you can get an LLC and have an American company. Do you produce things here? Do you make things in America? Yeah, bearskin hoodies, same things. One Foxtrot, same thing. There's so many companies out there that are doing this. They're American companies, designed in America, manufactured overseas. I don't care where you designed it. That was 2% of the work. Where are you manufacturing it? Where's that money going back to? Hey, William S., that's a great point. Walmart is an American company. Exactly. If they don't advertise country of origin, I pass. That's a great word, Texas sheep lady. Do you have nano sheep? Little itty bitty, little tiny, tiny sheep. So 97% of clothes are manufactured overseas, imported into the United States. And reshoring the industry is nearly an impossible task with both a lack of workers as well as American-sourced materials, BBC News reported. Quote, in the days after the election, footwear giant Steve Madden told investors that it was moving forward with plans to shift manufacturing outside of China, with the aim of cutting its imports from the country in half over the next year. Tool and hardware maker Stanley Black & Decker that bought DeWalt, which is why they suck now. And I'm very, 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 very perturbed about that because I am so heavily invested in the DeWalt 20-volt lithium-ion battery system. Can you see the smoke coming out of my ears? You ever seen what happens when you drive a Tesla into the water? That's what's happening in between my ears right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm pissed about that. Damn it, DeWalt. You guys suck now. Now I got to go buy Milwaukee. Now Milwaukee's better after I've talked shit on all these Milwaukee owners for the last 20 years. Now Milwaukee's better. Come on. Right, Walker Customs? I run Milwaukee now. I know. Right? And forget the $9,000 literally worth of DeWalt batteries and chargers that I've got. That doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter. They're garbage now. Come on. Right? And then what happens? Everybody switches to Milwaukee because they make a better product. Milwaukee's valuation goes up. Some other conglomerate buys Milwaukee. They take it apart, pieces and parts. We'll move this manufacturing over to Mexico. We'll move this to Vietnam. We'll make these parts over here in I don't know, whatever island Moana is from, whatever, right? We'll figure all that out. Okay, cool. And we'll put the constituent parts back together in Mexico. So we can say produced in America. Yeah, North America, not made in the USA. That's another thing that people do these days. Oh, it's American made. Yeah, in Mexico, not the United States of America. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing that people are doing now. Exactly. And then Milwaukee will go to crap. Then Milwaukee will be the shitty company until somebody else steps up. It's just stupid. Right? Like a good tool, you buy a good tool, should last you a lifetime. Like this hoodie should last you a lifetime. You buy, and it's not like these things are cheap. $200 for a battery now? For a battery to attach to a drill. GTFO. Toolmaker Stanley Black & Decker also said it has initiated conversations with its customers about price hikes tied to tariffs. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you guys can crash and burn anyway because you've destroyed the coveted black and yellow brand DeWalt. Executives at retail giants such as Walmart have discussed similar plans. Even companies that have already moved all their manufacturing into the United States, like us, still have reason to worry as necessary components are so often sourced internationally. I'll give you an example of this. I've been working on for 2 years making trauma shears in the United States of America. Trauma shears, all of them, soup to nuts, in the United States of America. Let's see. These guys right here. Why? Why do I want to do that? Because I'm spending money on these. I would like to spend money on these here. I would like to have the money that I spend here on these go to Americans. Okay. And frankly, big business, big brain moves. I want to control the manufacturing of these so I don't have to worry about supply chain issues. No one makes these here. Okay. And so here's an entrepreneurial lesson. That's called white space. No one makes these here. So now you have to ask yourself, why? Is this an opportunity or has everybody else tried it and it didn't work? Here's why no one makes these here. The answer is government regulation. Surprise, surprise. Because there are 2 places on planet Earth that produce in the quantities required the chemicals needed to have this FDA approved finish on these shears. One is China. One is India. The other is Pakistan. China makes a knockoff version of it that's not actually FDA approved. That's why so many of your surgical instruments come from Pakistan, because they make the chemicals to get this black oxide finish on the shears that's required per the FDA for import into the country, which means in order to make these here, I have to have a chemical plant, not just a manufacturing plant that does plastic injection and stamps out metal and sharpens it so that I can make shears. I now have to have a chemical plant that produces the chemical to treat the steel to make the... Yep. Thanks, FDA, because you guys and girls are super trustworthy. I've been working on this for 2 years. 2 years. 2 years. Okay? That's just an example right there. This shit's easy. This right here is compressed gauze. This I know how to make. This I will be making when I have the money to build the building to put the gauze machine in, because I know exactly how to make that. Got that figured out. Cool. But that's a $3 package of gauze. This should be, these are easy to make. The hardest part is that coating, and it's not done in the United States of America. It's done in India and Pakistan, and it's done to a much lower standard, surprise, surprise, in China. So my point is, American manufacturing, even the inputs that go into American manufacturing, still come from the global economy. And that's a challenge. So at Refuge, we try and do as much as we can. We make all of our stuff in America. We try and work with suppliers as much as we can that make things in America. But things like shears aren't made in America because the FDA will not allow you to make them in America. So then that means, okay, I got to look for the highest quality Pakistani stuff that I can find. Why am I sending money to Pakistan? Because my options are Pakistan, China, or India. Okay. See what I mean? That's just some governmental bullshit right there. Oh, because it's got to have the... This is similar to the Tenifer coating that's on Glocks. Very, very similar. Guess what? They make Glocks here. Huh. I never thought about that. I know, but some muckety-muck at the FDA wrote up a sweetheart deal in 1987, codified it in a piece of paper that some other muckety-mucks stamped their approval on, and now here we are. Now we're stuck here. But I digress. Is that a war comp too back there? Is that a... Yes, it is. Huh. What's that? Doesn't matter. Let's see. Essentially, few will be safe from the economic waves of these tariffs should they be instated as promised. The first time Trump was in office, his tariffs didn't create the wave of inflation that was feared, but it also didn't create a boom of factory jobs for American workers. This time around, though, the proposed tariffs are more widespread and more intense, and that's what has more people so worried. After all, the United States imports more than it exports. That's great. We're now a net consumer, not a net producer. Woo! It's gonna go great for us. Do you have large volumes of popcorn stored? Because the end of the world party is going to be tremendous. Like, prepper task: make popcorn without electricity, and go. Barrett, with the tariffs on Canada, my dog food is clean like overseas foods. Should I double up on bags of dog food before this goes into effect? RL, I don't know. Dog food doesn't keep very long because it has high fat and protein content, so it will go rancid in 60 to 90 days. I don't know. I would call Justin Trudeau, if I were you in Canada, and say, hey, how come my money is worthless? You suck at your job. Yeah. After all, the United States imports more than it exports, to the tune of an $873 billion deficit just last year. Shears are not produced in the United States of America. One shear, same thing. I have reached out to them, unless they have changed their manufacturing, in which case, good job to them. But the last I spoke to both of those companies, they were not produced here in the United States of America. Nano sheep are 116th of an inch. 116th of an inch? That's about 8 inches. What's up, Cherokee Survival? Or do you mean 1/16th of an inch? Because that's very nano. That's very tiny. It's like a grain of rice. In width, not in length. Concerns range from spiking inflation leading to recession to a global trade war with cascading impacts. Naturally, multiple countries have pointed out that the international trade is mutually beneficial, and this will harm companies and jobs on all sides. Already, the Canadian dollar and the Mexican peso have dipped in value to the lowest value since 2020 and the lowest value this year, respectively. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told legislators that, quote, the idea of going to war with the United States isn't what anyone wants, end quote, and that they would work together seriously, methodically, but without freaking out, end quote. And I'll finish this paragraph and then give you my thoughts on this. Both Canada and Mexico have hinted that they are considering retaliatory trade measures, and Canadian Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland noted, quote, the things we sell to the United States are the things they really need. We sell them oil, we sell them electricity, we sell them critical minerals and metals. Yup. And we sell you NORAD, international defense, redneckery, all kinds of stuff. So it is mutually beneficial. I just got to be honest with you. The idea of either Canada or Mexico being in an air quote war with the United States of America is laughable to me. And I know many Canadians. I love many Canadians, and it's kind of like, it's like if New York wanted to go to war with Texas. Okay. All right. I wish you the best of luck. Pretty much ridiculous. What's up, Iridium Group? There's one of those Canadians I love. Trade war, maybe. And to Canada's point, yeah, they sell us energy. They sell us minerals. They sell us metals. They sell us electricity, oil. That's great. All that's great. The United States of America has the capability of being energy independent, producing all those things domestically. The only thing that stands in the way is regulation, red tape, the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, which, hey, Karl Marx, good to see you. I love the idea of protecting the environment. I don't love the idea of using the protection of the environment as a stumbling block to shut down any promising business venture that could produce electricity or oil or anything like that. Like, nobody wants polluted rivers. Nobody wants dead birds and frogs. Like, nobody wants that. Okay? Nobody wants that. That very rarely is actually an issue. Even Trump, when he's talking about, wind turbines are bad. The bird strikes, they're terrible. They're killing birds left there. It looks like a war zone. There's dead birds everywhere. Eagles on the ground, dead. Broken arms, broken legs, broken beaks. Can't fly. So sad. Like, that actually doesn't happen. The incidence of bird strikes due to wind turbines is about 1/10 the incidence of humans hit by lightning each year. It's very, very, very low. But wind turbines are still a terrible idea at a utility scale. Right? So, like, we don't need the bullshit environmental talking points. We could just say, yeah, these things aren't carbon neutral at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. There's 240 tons of steel. There's just in the tower. There's 1,000 tons of concrete in the foundation. The blades, the rotor blades, have a decomposition life cycle of somewhere in the range of about 4,000 years. The service life is not 20 to 25 years, which is what all the projects are built out on for ROI, return on investment. It's more like 12 years. They suck. In short, they suck. They're terrible. It's a giant ruse that everybody bought into. And the reason they bought into it was during the Obama administration, the federal government with your taxpayer dollars was matching dollar for wind development. And the EPA was beginning to require utilities who are producing electricity to produce X percent of their electricity from renewables by Y date. And so large companies like the number 1, 2, and 3 owners of wind power in the United States of America, of wind power, are British Petroleum, ExxonMobil, and Dutch Shell. Oil companies own the wind. And they did that to get the wind energy tax credits because the construction of the projects was subsidized 50% with taxpayer dollars, dollar for dollar. And so they spent $100 million and got a $400 million tax credit. Wow. Crony capitalism, anybody? And then everybody bought into, these wind turbines are so good for everything. No, they're terrible. They suck. And they're in no way carbon neutral. Not even a little bit. Underneath the King Ranch on Sarita Gulf Wind, King Ranch, Kennedy Ranch, phase 1, the first phase, 183 wind turbines stood up. Over 200 miles of trench filled with copper wire. For every 1 ton of copper that you smelt, you produce 5.3 tons of CO2. Oh, we'll use aluminum wire. It's cheaper. For every 1 ton of aluminum you smelt, you produce 10.8 tons of CO2. I got kicked out of this industry, y'all, because I was writing white papers on how freaking stupid wind energy is while I was being employed to stand up wind energy in that sector. Because I've been calling a spade for way longer than I've been on the internet. This shit is retarded. Okay. So my point is, we have the ability to be energy independent and not need oil sands from Canada. It's nice to have oil sands from Canada. Don't get me wrong. We should be friends. But like, don't put me over a barrel. Don't back me into a corner. You know, we're not like, yeah. So the idea of going into an economic war with Justin Trudeau, that's funny. Okay. All because of the tariffs. Here's the point. Fix the money. Fix the money. And then a lot of this doesn't matter anymore. Now it's a nice to have, not a need to have. We're playing with the margins. Fix the money. All right. Hold on. Intermission. Interlude. Good morning, everybody. Make money, make noise again, Barry. Corn Pop. I like you today. You're on fire. All right. What else we got? We got an article from Russia Today, Russia. And from The Hill, Jimmy Carr. Good morning, Lost Light. Good morning, Kat. Good morning, Kat. What's up? Padre. Good morning. Careful. Soon we won't be able to call a spade a spade. Oh, gold standard. Oh, gold standard. What else we got going on today? Oh, hope y'all had a happy Turkey Day, that you gave many thanks, that you took inventory of your myriad blessings. I think today is technically Black Friday. What's up, Badger? Shalom, brother. It's cold. It is fluster cluck. It was 20-something degrees here at the house this morning. We got a rip-roaring fire going. I think today is technically, I don't know. How could we DEI this? African American 6th day of prep day. I don't know what the liberals would call it. It's Black Friday, y'all. I'm gonna tell you guys one more again. Covert Thread socks. They're running a 50% off sale right now, except for these, which are the bear socks. I make $2 a pair, $1 per sock. They're incredible socks. These are the Rock Infiltrators. If you're looking for presents for people, I recommend these. Refuge has an entire tab. Refuge Medical has an entire tab on the website of Black Friday deals, up to 50% off certain medical components. A bunch of new stuff has been added. Refuge hoodies, Refuge beanies, Right in the Rain medic books, kits that are on there. There's, the Blue Floral Adventure Kit is up there. It's a great present for mom, grandma, your auntie, whoever you're into. Non-binary color Friday. Brian, I like that. Black isn't actually a color, right? Black is the presence of all colors. Is that correct? I don't know. I'm colorblind, literally. Black Friday name came from Red Friday money in the black in the red stock. Jay Robeson, almost a complete thought there. Black Friday, the meaning of which is that your books have been in the red all year, and then you square your books, you get into the black, you're actually making a profit by this point in the year. So anyway, which is a terrible, terrible business model. Covert Threads have been hands down the best socks, and I've about tried them all. Pippi Bebo, I appreciate you. In light, it's the absence of all light. Thank you, Texas Sheep Lady. See, I'm colorblind. I don't know. So Refuge has an entire Black Friday tab going on. Bearfax are back in stock. It says on the website, ships in 2 weeks. I'm telling you, we are shipping out a massive amount of bear facts on Monday. And so if you don't have one of these or you want to get more of these, this one's in multicam, but we make them in red and green and black and gray, all kinds of colors. You will have this by insert winter holiday here. If you execute today, we're shipping Monday, and these have been incredibly challenging to keep in stock. This is literally the best first aid kit on planet Earth. That's not hyperbole. Exceeds military standards. It is made in America, as you can see from this tag right here. Guaranteed forever. 138 people are still alive because of Refuge Medical Kits and training. You guys know the drill on the bear fact, man. It's the best. Massive bleeding, airway, respiratory, circulation, head injury, hypothermia, everything else. Just got my USMC Marpat Bear Fact. Thanks for the snacks. You're welcome to Skid 06, @6. Yeah, man. Listen, if you're one of Uncle Sam's misguided children, we put some snacks in there for you. Just saying. You know how it be. So, JS Genesis Designs is running 20% off their entire store using River promo code. Only those in this chat know. Well, now they know, bro. That's amazing. That's awesome. Liberty, good morning. It now says ready to ship 12/2. But good job, Liberty. Wonderful. So Refuge Medical, check us out. It is Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all that stuff. Are they Crayola snacks? Ace Man, that's a great guess. Except Crayola uses pig fat in their crayons, so we use Rose Art because Rose Art does not. So therefore, you're not consuming swine when you eat those tasty crayons that we sneak into the Marpat Bear Facts. So Bear Briefs, yes, for $43,000, you can buy the briefs that I'm currently wearing. I'll email me. I'll send you a PayPal link. Times be tough, man. Times be tough. We just got done talking about tariffs and the economy. It's rough out here. I like the black ones. Scented. Oh, Trevin. That's phenomenal. Tidy whiteys. No, not tidy whiteys. No, I can't do the tidy whiteys. Well, you know what? We're not going to talk about my underwear on camera. How about that? No. So how about that Russia stuff? The West is plotting to occupy Ukraine, according to Russian intel, SVR. Plans are being made to freeze the conflict by sending 100,000 foreign troops to the country, according to the SVR. The West is secretly planning to occupy Ukraine and freeze the conflict with Russia by deploying tens of thousands of supposed peacemakers to the country, the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, the SVR, has said. The good thing here is that they're very reputable, the SVR. Those guys are just known for being like on the ball all the time, no propaganda, no lines of effort here. They're not trying to perpetuate any particular narrative, even a little bit. Let's see what these a-holes have to say. In a statement on Friday, the spy agency cited intelligence sources as saying that NATO is increasingly in favor of halting the hostilities along the current front line, as the U.S.-led military bloc in Ukraine have come to realize that they are failing to inflict a strategic defeat on Russia. Yeah, no shit. Freezing the conflict would allow the West to rebuild the shattered Ukrainian military and, quote, prepare it for an attempt at revenge, end quote, the SVR, or the Russian intelligence service, stated. It further claimed that NATO is already setting up training centers to process at least 1 million Ukrainian conscripts. Quick question. Where's Ukraine getting 1 million conscripts from? They're a small country. A quarter of their military-age males have already defected, have run away. Where are they getting that? Like, who's out there fighting? Grandma? Grandma, this is AK. The charge handle on right, you pull back your paddle magazine release sight. Graduated out to 800 kilometers. Battle 300 meters, 76239. And click, bang, bang, pop, 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 pop. No, I mean, maybe Ukrainian grandmas are hardcore, but where are we getting I'm not involved in this fight. I don't think anybody should be. Where are they? No, North Korea is not sending troops to Ukraine. North Korea would be sending troops to Russia. Hades flow. No. North Korean soldiers are 3/5 of a soldier. Gold standard. That's rough. That's rough. That's rough, man. Because is that a height joke or is that a Civil War joke? Or is it both? Or are you just that good? Are the Arcturus survival blankets sold out? JC Fixer wants to know. Probably, because we had them on Black Friday sale. Probably. 60 is the upper age range of military acceptance, Christopher Hancock. For a conscript. But think about that. 60-year-olds? 60-year-olds? You're going to IMT with all your gear at 60? Now, not all 60-year-olds are created equal. Yep, but more coming, says HBD Off-Road. Awesome. Thank you. That's Mike over there. I just OPSEC'd him. If you've ever ordered something from Refuge and got a thank you video text from Mike, that's HBD Off-Road right there. So he would know. Let's see. A possible respite would also help the West restore Kiev's military industry, which has been regularly battered by Russian missile and drone strikes, the SVR added. Quote, to solve these tasks, the West will need to essentially occupy Ukraine. Naturally, this will be done under the guise of deploying a peacemaking contingent to the country. According to the plan, a total of 100,000 so-called peacekeepers will be deployed in Ukraine. According to the SVR, the plan would also involve Ukraine being partitioned into 4 large occupation zones. Romania would take the Black Sea coast. Poland would control Western Ukraine. Poland is just itching for a fight, by the way. They're like, let's go. Now, listen, I don't know if you've known many Polish people, but Poland is kind of like the flyover country of Europe, Eastern Europe area. Those are some hardcore people, at least the ones I've met. Those are some hardcore people. When those, it's almost like Appalachistan of Eastern Europe. When those people say they want to kill you, you should probably listen to them. They mean it. They're being serious. So Poland's been kind of chomping at the bit here lately. Poland would control Western Ukraine, which is right on the border with Belarus, where Lukashenko is, who's homies with Putin, who has nuclear missiles. Okay, so what could go wrong here? The UK, United Kingdom, would occupy the north of Ukraine, including Kiev, and the central and eastern parts of the country would be taken by Germany. The SVR has claimed. Germany. Remember them? Such greatest hits as World War I and World War II. Those guys, I don't know. I know they say they're on our team now. I know that. I'm just having a hard time with it. Olaf Scholz is going to go in there and restore peace to Ukraine. I don't think so, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know. The SVR also alleged that Germany plans to revive. This is great. Now, how do we know we're reading propaganda when we get to a paragraph like this? The SVR also alleged that Germany plans to revive practices implemented by the Nazi regime during World War II to, quote, police Ukraine. In particular, Berlin wants to create special death squads made up of Ukrainian nationalists to maintain order in the occupied territory, the statement read. Does Russia need such a peaceful settlement option? The answer is obvious, the SVR said. The statement comes after French newspaper Le Monde reported earlier this week that France and the UK have reactivated a discussion on a potential troop deployment in Ukraine. Earlier this year, French President Emmanuel Macron insisted that the West should not rule out this option to keep Russia in check, despite strong pushback from numerous NATO allies. Now, I hate to be that guy, but let me remind you that NATO hasn't actually spent any damn money on defense like they've supposed to been. And then there's a number. There it is. There it is. Boo-doo-doo-doo. Boo-doo-boo-boo. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay. Number of tanks by country. Pastor Joe was talking about this in a video I did on Patreon about a week ago. Number of tanks by country. Russia, 12,500. North Korea, 6,600. Now, not all tanks are created equal, all right? Just so we're all on the same page here. United States, 5,500. China, 5,000. Egypt, 4,700. Oh no, a pop-up ad. India, 4,600. Iran, 4,000. Pakistan, 3,700. Syria, 2,600. South Korea, 2,300. You know who wasn't on that list anywhere near the top? France, Germany, Poland, Britain. Now, Poland has a fair number of tanks. They do not, they're like American, I wouldn't say leftovers, but oh my gosh. All the pop-ups. What is happening here? My point is, Britain has 200 tanks. 200. Russia has 12,500. 200. Now, not all tanks are created equal. The Leopard 2 is a phenomenal main battle tank. Okay, cool. Well, quantity has a quality all of its own, right? Oh, the British Challenger 2. I apologize. The Germans run the Leopard 2. Okay, whatever. I don't see this going great for NATO, is my point. If the SVR is correct in their assessment here. Moscow has repeatedly signaled its opposition to freezing the conflict, insisting that all the goals of its military operation, including Ukraine's neutrality, demilitarization, and denazification, must be met. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has stressed that while there is no consensus in the EU on sending troops to Ukraine, there are some hotheads. Yeah, we'll see. And from the Hill, I'm going to read this real quick before we get into national intel, because we don't have a lot this week. Intel@bearindependent.com is where you send your intel reports to me, and I read them on the air. We've only got 4 this week. So please, let's do better next time. From the Hill, Amazon workers plan to strike from Black Friday, that's today, to Cyber Monday. What could possibly go wrong? By the way, I understand e-commerce fairly well. I mean, I own an e-commerce brand, Refuge Medical. Like, we make stuff here in America. We do things. I get e-com. Sure, there are people that are way better at it than I am. We have an option this holiday season, and I'm not saying you should be observing this holiday season. I'm saying that if you are observing this holiday season, whatever it might be, I hear a squish outside my door. We have options here. Jeff Bezos is not going to care one bit whether you spend your money with him or not. It does not affect him. There are many, many, many hundreds of thousands, millions of small businesses that it absolutely affects. And I would just encourage you to think, as you're spending your hard-earned dollars this season, think about spending them as locally and as small as you possibly can. You don't even have no clothes on, baby. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my goodness.
She finally heard your voice.
Oh, what are you doing? You don't have no clothes on. Oh, cover up. Cover up. We can't have that on the interwebs. What are you doing? You saying hi to everybody? Yeah. Look at them. There they are. Look at all those people. 1,600 of your friends are here. Yeah. There they are. What are you doing? You chilling? You see the baby? That's you? Yeah. Cover up. Oh, no. What? What? Are you saying hi to Fluster Cluck? Say hello. Hi. Hello. No, you can't poke the buttons. Please don't poke the buttons. Please. Please don't do it.
It's chilly in here.
It is chilly in here. That's why I got my hoodie on. Made in America. Origin Nano Wool.
Well, it'll be like Miss Hands.
Have you ever, about nano wool? No. Comes from sheep that are this big.
Does it?
It does.
Micro sheep?
Little tiny ones. I'm going to get some from Texas Sheep Lady.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we're going to... Whoa! And then we're going to batter him and deep fry him. Bye-bye, baby. I'll see you guys in a minute.
Okay.
Not a minute. Probably more like 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye, Daddy.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So, as Amazon goes on strike, or more accurately, their unionized workers. Thank you, Ian McPhee. Hey, brother, I have been praying for you. And there are not words. And I'm not going to air your laundry on camera, but there are not words. I don't know how to adequately convey what I feel for you right now, other than I have been lifting you up in prayer. And that's all I know how to say. There are no words. So may y'all bless you, brother, and give you the strength you need. So that's it. I don't I don't know how to make sounds with my mouth that would adequately convey. There are none, which is why it's so beautiful that the Father knows our heart, because he knows what we're trying to say, even if we don't know how to say it ourselves. So, yeah, love you, bro. I am sorry for what you are going through. And Dad is still sovereign. Dad is still sovereign. All right. Amazon strike ongoing. There are a handful of companies that will not notice one bit. Thank you, brother. Praise Yah. There are a handful of companies that will not notice one bit, whether you transact with them or not this winter. There are many, many, many that will. It may be the difference between them making payroll or having to go under. You know, you hear this cliche all the time. When you support a small business, you're making sure a little girl gets her gymnastics lessons or a little boy gets to play baseball or whatever. That's true. It's super duper duper true. And as somebody who owns and operates small businesses, it makes a difference. And so I would just encourage y'all to spend whatever money you're gonna spend today and every day with as locally and with as many small companies as you can. 53% of people are employed by small and medium-sized businesses in the United States of America. It's a big deal. And I know the economy sucks. It sucks for me too. I get it. But rather than clicking buy now on Amazon, I know how easy that is. I know all your billing information, shipping information is already in there. They got deals going on. It'll show up to your door in 3 days. I get it. I get it. I'm not perfect at this either. I would just encourage you to just think before you spend, especially if we have an ideological disagreement with these giant companies. I would not go out of my way to just blindly support them with my revenue. So, from the Hill, Amazon workers plan to strike from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. That's today. I'm super surprised. Now, let's do the national intel. Amazon might be cheaper. Can you shake Bezos's hand? I mean, if you want to get syphilis, you could. Maybe, if you could track them down. Bonus intel at barindependent.com. I wanted to send in some echoes on the saline solution shortage you have mentioned on several of your briefs. It is affecting Iowa and the Midwest at all of our BioLife locations where we donate plasma. They have posted in the app as well as on their buildings and before donating of this shortage. They have changed their process and guidelines to temporarily cope with the ongoing shortage. They're having patrons consume goldfish crackers in a bottle of Powerade or equivalent before and after donating. Also, huge visible shortage on OTC saline, eye wash, and contact solution. Yep. So if you go to Refuge Medical, let's see, if I go there right now, I go to the top and I hit the little search bar and I put in saline, I will find the IV start set, which is right here, that for your dehydrated doggy dog, yeah, for your dehydrated doggy dog, putting a link in the description. I'm just saying, if Fido is feeling a little dehydrated, we might have back in stock at Refuge some things to help your doggo be less dehydrated. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, do 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 do. Do 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 boo doo boo 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 boo. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. If you look at the contents on that kit that I just put there for your dehydrated dog, yeah. Yep. Can you add peanut butter whiskey to the IVs? I like to take peanut butter whiskey per Oz orally, myself personally. I wouldn't necessarily recommend injecting it directly into your bloodstream. Kalen House silent auction is next week. Yes, it is. Every one of y'all should be checking out the calebhouse.org website for that. Still need the bags. Dwayne Hopmeister. Dwayne didn't read the description. Dwayne didn't read the description, did he? Yeah. All right. Next, no shock to you, but again with the saline, I give plasma twice a week here in Northwestern Ohio. It is my preparedness money. Anyways, they're now asking donors to opt out of the saline at the end of the procedure. Instead, taking a snack and a Powerade before and after. Appears the saline problem is here to stay for a while. 100%. Next, sent anonymously. I am an unlicensed pediatric ICU RN because I stopped working to homeschool my kids many years ago, and my husband is a pediatrician. We both woke up to what was happening in the healthcare system during the pandemic. He allowed himself to get fired for not taking the shot. Please tell people looking for healthcare to check out Health Sharing Ministries for insurance possibilities. We are a part of one for catastrophic emergencies. There are many choices here. It's much less per month than paying for insurance, and you don't have to pay for things that aren't biblical. Also, look into direct primary care physicians when they need health care. These are practices located all over the country. These guys don't take insurance, and they could handle cleaning a wound and stitching. So that's actually what I do. I have a doctor who is part of a program like that I pay. What do I pay? I think it's $300 a month for my entire family. And we have access to his office 24/7, 365, as well as like if I need a referral to somebody that's in network, they have a network of people, et cetera, prescription plan, blah, 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 blah. And it's $300 a month out of pocket, which is less than half of what insurance would cost. So, and it doesn't cover all things. We just had a baby, and my wife is over 40 years old, which qualifies you as a geriatric pregnancy, which is hysterical. She was offended by that name. But we opted to have the baby in a hospital rather than at home for myriad reasons. And I went to the hospital and I was like, hey, how much does it cost to have a baby? And the lady was like, oh, hold on. Well, what kind of insurance do you have? I said, just how much does it cost to have a baby? She said, it's about $12,800. I said, okay. How much does it cost if I give you cash to have a baby? She was like, oh, cash. It's $4,000. Okay. Now, why the discrepancy from $4,000 to $12,800? Because $12,800 is the insurance price, and it's going to take them half a year to get half of that money. So they'll get $6,400 6 months from now on insurance. And so the $2,400 in excess of the $4,000 that they would charge you for cash price is for the cost of doing business to float those costs for performing the procedures over the next 6 months before they get paid half of what they bill to the insurance company. That's why. Okay. Because that whole system is broken. So I was like, cash. She's like, $4,000. I was like, okay. So that tells me, Alex Giles, 100% unequal weights and measures. Health insurance is a scam. Agree. So I said $4,000. Okay. So then she says, do you want to set up a payment plan? I was like, I can do that on cash. She goes, oh yeah. I was like, all right. Sounds good. So we broke that $4,000 in baby money out over 6 months. Because, it takes 9 months to have a baby. So we broke that out over 6 months. I paid $1,000 up front and then paid the other $3,000 over the course of 6 months, $500 a month. And here's the baby. That's still cheaper than having health insurance, paying health insurance out of pocket. It's a thing. And so anyway, I have one of those doctors that's in network. It costs us, I think, $300 a month. And my whole family goes and we get a once a year checkup and blah, 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 blah. So you should look into that. Direct care primary physicians. These are practices located all over the country. These guys don't take insurance and they could handle cleaning a wound and stitching. In most states, they fill prescriptions in their offices for pennies in comparison to pharmacies. They're working outside the system because they aren't beholden to insurance companies. My husband has taken a 180-degree turn about vaccines. Most people don't need a tetanus shot if they clean the wound well and infection does not occur. Take antibiotics. Yeah, my blood is half tetanus shot. They're supposed to be good for 7 years. I've had probably one a year from age 15 to 35. Yeah, because they bill you $700 for that tetanus shot, whether you need it or not. It's okay, Dwayne. It's okay. We can still be friends. Last, intel at bearindependent.com. Originally, many people spotted drones over Morris County, New Jersey. Not normal drones. They're the size of small helicopters. At first, the sheriff's department said these aren't anything to be worried about. After investigation, they still don't know what it is. Now the FBI is involved, and the drones are being spotted in clusters all over Sussex, Morris, and Warren counties. I live relatively near Picatinny Arsenal, and due to the close proximity of this place, they sent out Black Hawks to look for the drones, which I saw one over my house recently before I knew about the issue. China? ? Not sure what to make of it or think of it. I've seen a couple of them hovering off I-287 at night. Strange that they apparently don't know anything about it, like the weather balloons. Sounds like government is covering for an enemy because they're in bed with them. They've also been seen over military operations in the UK and other places around the globe. Correct. Nothing my 12 gauge with some bird or buckshot can't handle. So, in completely unrelated news, we've been shooting a lot more skeet lately here at Bear Camp, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I would recommend everybody, if you haven't shot skeet lately, get you a thrower and some clay pigeons and some bird shot and just go shoot skeet. Yeah, just completely unrelated news. I would recommend you shoot some skeet. Yeah, it's fun. Now, if you guys have anything you would like to send in for me to read on camera, intel at bearindependent.com is the email address, intel at bearindependent.com. calebhouse.org. Our silent auction is coming up. Lots of cool stuff is available there. You can find out all the details at intel at bearindependent.com. Scott Robeson, happy birthday, Bear. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. That's a cool shirt, Tuna. So yeah, check it out, calebhouse.org. The Refuge Ruckus is coming up in the springtime. If you want to come ruck with us and raise money and awareness for Caleb House and get your ass beat in the creamy versus crunchy tug of war, and speakers, presenters, instructors, live music. Chad Prather is going to be our MC for us, master of ceremonies. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an awesome event, and there is early bird pricing right now. refugeruckus.com. I already told you about Covert Thread socks. Please go buy a cool pair of socks from them. Awesome, veteran-owned small family business. Best socks I've ever worn. And I'm not just saying that. They are the best socks I've ever worn. What else? GrindstoneMinistries.com. If you want to come punch tornadoes and hurricanes in the face with us, GrindstoneMinistries.com. For both Caleb House and Grindstone. If you have a conviction, please prayerfully consider recurring donations. If not, no big deal, homie. You do you. Sam Off Grid, I appreciate you very much. Thank you, Team Crunchy. And then, of course, yes, it's actually my birthday. It is actually my day of birth today. Yay, made it around the sun one more time or whatever. And then I've already told you about Refuge Medical, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all of that. You want to do something nice for me for my birthday? Get somebody you love a bleeding prevention kit. Do that. Or go to Caleb House and make a donation, or go to Grindstone and make a donation, or pray over the field teams and the kiddos and the widows and the orphans. I would really appreciate that. That would be good for me. That would be a happy birthday for me. So, yeah. Speaking of pray, let's do that. Oh, good morning, Father Yah. Father, thank you that we have so much to be thankful for every day of the year, not just on some random Thursday in November. Father, thank you for how good you are to us. Thank you for inexplicably loving us and relentlessly pursuing us. In spite of the myriad times we have thumbed our nose at you and been disobedient, egregiously disobedient, and yet and still you love us. Father, thank you for whatever reason you have called us, selected us out of the world to know you and to walk in your ways, to be redeemed by the blood of Messiah, that we might be your hands and feet. Thank you for the conviction of a life's work that has meaning and purpose. Thank you that we don't have to worry about why we were made or what we were made for, that you made that clear to us. Thank you for using us to enact your will. As inconvenient as it may be, scary as it may be, challenging as it may be sometimes, thank you for being sovereign and for providing so that we might execute on your will. Father, thank you for a beautiful day, and for a beautiful family, for the breath in my lungs, and for all the things that we take for granted, for the 1,000 times a day you keep us from trouble and temptation, that you put a hedge around us and steer our actions and our thoughts and our hearts. Thank you that we don't understand you, and yet you go out of your way to understand us and make yourself known to us. Thank you for that. Father, yeah, I pray that you just smile on these people today, that you would make your face to shine upon them, that they would experience your shalom today. Father, that you would be near to the brokenhearted. You would provide comfort and wisdom and discernment by your Ruach HaKodesh. That you would give us strength and power and authority in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach to be your hands and feet. Father, that no weapon formed against us would prosper, that the light would shine into the darkness and the darkness would not comprehend it. Father, if there's anything within the sound of my voice that is not of you, we come together in agreement and rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach and command it to destroy itself. Father, fill us up. Keep us topped up on your light and your goodness and your love, that we might execute righteously in your name. Father, please continue to provide a pathway forward for us, to use us for your will. And thank you for the honor and the glory to be chosen by you. Help us remember that you are good. In spite of everything that's happening in the world and everything that's happening in our lives, that you are good. You are sovereign. And that your will and your intent does not falter. You are the same yesterday, today, and forever. Please continue to encourage us and teach us to walk in the model of Messiah, to be better sons and daughters. Father Yah, we love you. We praise you, and we thank you for everything. In Yeshua's name, amen. That's the show for today. I appreciate y'all very much. I hope you have an awesome day of prep. I hope that your turkey hangover isn't egregious, that you had a good day yesterday, that you have a good day today, and that the Father continues to reveal himself to you. Go be the light. Bless y'all. Shalom.